Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be going over the practice quiz for quiz 8, which we're going to have on Tuesday, May 3rd. So if you are watching this video, then you are expected to have already at least attempted the practice quiz for at least 15 to 20 minutes. So again, please make sure that you are trying this before watching the video. All right, it's important that you know how to do this on your own because you're going to have a quiz on it tomorrow. So if you look at page 9 in your workbooks, if you have no idea what you're doing or forgotten, then page 9 is going to be your best friend. This one's not filled out, but you should have a filled out one. But page 9 says, if there is only one fraction in the equation, multiply every piece of the equation by the denominator of that fraction. Okay, so we are going to multiply everything by our denominator. And for number 1, the only fraction we have has a denominator of 2. So we're going to multiply everything by 2. All right, so here I have 2 times 3x. I'll go ahead and spell this out once for us all together. From here on out, I won't spend as much time doing this, but I have 2 times 3x over 2. Now remember, when we're multiplying a whole number like 2, I have to turn that into a fraction as well. Now you may remember that if I have the same number in the numerator of one fraction and the denominator of the other, then those just cancel out. But let's actually show how that works. So I have 2 times 3x, which is 6x, over 1 times 2, which is 2. Now I need to divide 6 by 2. So 6 divided by 2 gives me 3x, which is what I originally had here. So I could have just canceled those out and gotten 3x over 1, which is just the same as 3x. Okay, so that part up there is 3x. Now I need to multiply 2 times 7. So 2 times 7 gives me 14. So on the left here, I have 3x plus 14. Now on the right, I have 16 times 2, which is 32. All right, now it's just a matter of solving. And if you remember, I'm trying to get this 3x, this x by itself. So I need to get rid of this plus 14. To get rid of plus 14, I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. On the left, that leaves me with just 3x. And on the right, I have 18. Now I need to do some dividing because 3 times x equals 18. So to figure out what that x is, I'm going to do the opposite, which is dividing. And I get x equals 6 for number 1. Okay, number 2. It's the same thing. I just switched the order around. Just trying to trick you guys. Okay, so I'm still going to multiply by the denominator of my fraction. And in this case, the denominator is 5. So I'm going to multiply everything times 5. All right, I have 5 times 18, which gives me 90, minus 5 times 2x, which is 10x. So I have 10x over 5 equals, what's 12 times 5? Well, that's 60. All right, but now I need to simplify this. So I have 90 minus 2x equals 60 because 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now I'm going to subtract 90 from both sides to get that negative 2x by itself. All right, now it's okay that the x is negative. I just need to remember to divide by negative 2, not positive 2. Otherwise, I would end up with a negative x, and I don't want a negative x. Okay, so if I divide both sides by negative 2, I get x equals positive 15 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. All right, now we're going to move down to fractions with more than one denominator. And again, page 9 is going to be your best friend because it says if there are more than 2 fractions in the equation, you're going to find the least common denominator and then multiply every piece by the least common denominator. Okay, so here I have 6 and 4. If I were to count by sixes, I would have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, etc. If I count by fours, I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, etc. Now I need to look for the smallest number that they both share, which is going to be 12. All right, so my least common denominator is 12. And notice that it's really important to do that because if you read the directions, it says you get 1 point for the least common denominator. So this part right here is worth 1 point. Then you get 2 points for your answer and 1 point for showing your work. All right, you are expected to be doing this with our eliminating fractions method because it's going to be really important once we get to systems of equations. Okay, so 1 point for that part. Now we're going to multiply everything by 12. So here I have 12 times x, which is 12x over 6, minus, again, 12 times x is 12x over 4 equals 5 times 12, which is 60. Apparently we're using that one a lot today, 12 times 5. All right, now I need to simplify. 12 divided by 6 gives me 2x minus 12 divided by 4, which is 3x. All right, 2x, subtract 3x, right? I have $2 and I have to pay 3. Now I am negative, right? I have a negative x, negative 1x equals 60. So now this part, really, if I think about this, this is negative 1x equals 60. And I could divide both sides by negative 1, which would make those cancel out. And I would just have x is negative 60. So essentially, if you have something like this, all you're doing is changing the sign of your answer. Okay, if you get a negative x, just change the sign of your answer. Okay, if it's positive, turn it to negative. If it's negative, turn it to positive. That's all that negative x means. Okay? All right, moving on to number 4. So now I have 2 and 5. So again, if I counted out my multiples, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5, 10. So the lowest number that they both share is 10. Okay, so I'm going to multiply everything times 10. So here I have 10 times 3, which is 30. So I have 30x over 2 plus 10 times x gives me 10x over 5. Just keeping those for right now. 34 times 10 gives me 340. Now let's go ahead and simplify. 30 divided by 2 gives me 15x plus 10 divided by 5 is 2x equals 340. All right, now I need to do some combining. 15x plus 2x gives me 17x equals 340. Last step is to divide both sides by 17, and you should get x equals 20. Okay, number 5, you'll notice I scratched mine off because mine was different. I had to fix it. I messed up on that problem and I made new copies for you guys. So don't worry about that. You have the right problem on your page. I just didn't have the right problem on this one that I printed. So this is the problem that we're working on for number 5. Okay, so I have 2, 4, and 6. I need to find the least common multiple of those 3 numbers. So if I'm counting by 2s, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. With 4, I have 4, 8, 12, 16, etc. And 6, I've got 6, 12, 18, etc. All right, so if I look, 12 is the smallest number that all 3 of them have, right? They all 3 have to have the same least common denominator. So this one is going to be 12. Okay, so I'm going to multiply everything, both sides, by 12. Now I've got 3 fractions, but it's still the same thing, okay? So 12 times 5 gives me 60x over 2. 12 times x is 12x over 4. Now over on the right, 12 times 3 is 36x over 6 plus 18 times 12, which is 216, I believe. Yes, 216. All right, now let's simplify. So I have 60 divided by 2, which is 30, plus 12 divided by 4, which is 3, equals 36 divided by 6, which is 6, plus 216. All right, now I need to do some combining. So this makes 33x equals 6x plus 216. Now I want to get this x over on the other side so that all of my x's are together. So I'll subtract 6x from both sides. So now I have 27x equals 216. If I divide both sides by 27, then you would get x equals 8. All right, and last one. Okay, we have three fractions again, but two of them have the same denominator. So I've got 3 and 4. And again, if I count by my multiples, I'm looking for my least common denominator. And this one is again 12. I don't know why I did that, with 3 of them having the least common denominator of 12, but whatever. Okay, so we're going to multiply everything times 12. We'll just be really good at our 12 times table after this, our 12's facts. Okay, so I have 12 times 4, which is 48, minus 12 times 2, which is 24, equals 5 times 12, which is 60, minus, again, 5 times 12 is 60. Okay, now let's do some simplifying. 48 divided by 3 gives us 16, minus 24 divided by 4 gives us 6, 60 divided by 3 gives us 20, and then we have 60. All right, so let's do some combining over here. So 16 minus 6x gives me 10x equals 20x minus 60. I'll subtract 20x from both sides, which will make me negative over here, but that's okay. So I have negative 10x equals negative 60. Now my last step, I've got to divide both sides by negative 10, and I get x equals positive 6, not 60. X equals 60. All right, those are the questions for our practice quiz today. Tomorrow it will be very similar to this, just with different numbers. Again, make sure that you are writing the least common denominator for these 4, and then showing your work for all 6 of them, okay? All right, have a great day, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on which period you're in.